Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban is a British-American fantasy film that stands as the third installment in the beloved Harry Potter film series. This cinematic adaptation brings to life J.K. Rowling's third novel from her internationally acclaimed Harry Potter book series. The film was produced by Warner Bros. Pictures in collaboration with Heyday Films and 1492 Pictures, representing a significant evolution in the visual and narrative style of the franchise. The production of this film marked a pivotal transition in the Harry Potter series, both in terms of creative direction and tonal maturity. Warner Bros. Pictures served as the primary production company and distributor, ensuring the film received worldwide theatrical release. The movie was filmed primarily in the United Kingdom, utilizing various locations across Scotland and England to capture the magical essence of Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry and its surrounding areas. Alfonso Cuarón took the directorial reins for this installment, replacing Chris Columbus, who had directed the first two films. Cuarón, a Mexican filmmaker known for his artistic vision and character-driven storytelling, brought a darker, more mature aesthetic to the franchise. His appointment represented Warner Bros.' desire to grow the series alongside its audience, acknowledging that the young viewers who started with The Philosopher's Stone were now ready for more complex themes and sophisticated filmmaking techniques. The screenplay was adapted by Steve K. Loves, who had previously worked on the first two Harry Potter films and would continue to adapt most of the remaining books in the series. K. Loves faced the challenge of condensing Rowling's increasingly lengthy novels into manageable film runtimes while preserving the essential plot points and character development that fans expected. Detailed plot summary: the film opens during the summer holidays, with Harry Potter spending another miserable vacation with his Muggle relatives, the Dursleys, at number 4 Privet Drive. The tension in the household reaches a breaking point when Vernon Dursley's sister, Marge, visits and begins insulting Harry's deceased parents. Unable to control his magical abilities in his anger, Harry accidentally inflates Aunt Marge like a balloon, causing her to float away. Fearing punishment from the Ministry of Magic for using magic outside of school, Harry grabs his belongings and flees into the night. While wandering the dark streets, Harry encounters the night bus, a triple-decker purple vehicle that serves as emergency transport for stranded witches and wizards. The bus, driven by the eccentric Ernie Prang and conducted by the enthusiastic Stan Shunpike, takes Harry to the Leaky Cauldron in London. There, instead of facing punishment, Harry is surprisingly greeted by Cornelius Fudge, the Minister of Magic himself, who seems relieved to find Harry safe and merely asks him to stay in Diagon Alley until the school term begins. During his stay at the Leaky Cauldron, Harry reunites with his best friends Ron Weasley and Hermione Granger. He also learns the disturbing reason for the Ministry's unusual leniency. Sirius Black, a convicted murderer and alleged supporter of Lord Voldemort, has escaped from Azkaban prison, the Wizarding World's most secure detention facility. Black is believed to be searching for Harry, having reportedly been overheard muttering about going after him. The escape is unprecedented, as Azkaban is guarded by Dementors, terrifying creatures that feed on human happiness and can drain a person's soul. When the students board the Hogwarts Express to return to school, the atmosphere is tense and foreboding. During the journey, the train unexpectedly stops, and Dementors board while searching for Sirius Black. One Dementor enters Harry's compartment, and its presence affects Harry more severely than his friends. He experiences traumatic memories and faints. A new passenger in their compartment, Professor Remus Lupin, the incoming defense against the dark arts teacher, drives the Dementor away using a Patronus charm and revives Harry with chocolate. Upon arrival at Hogwarts, Professor Dumbledore announces that Dementors will be stationed around the school grounds as a security measure to protect students from Sirius Black. He warns students to avoid giving the Dementors any reason to harm them. The school year begins with new challenges. Hermione has mysteriously enrolled in more classes than time should allow. Ron's pet rat Scabbers appears ill and frightened, and Harry must cope with his unusual vulnerability to the Dementors. Professor Lupin quickly becomes a favorite teacher, demonstrating practical and engaging teaching methods. He privately offers to teach Harry the Patronus Charm, a powerful defensive spell that can repel Dementors. Meanwhile, Hagrid has been promoted to care of magical creatures teacher but faces difficulties when Draco Malfoy deliberately provokes a hippogriff named Buckbeak during a lesson, resulting in injury. Lucius Malfoy, Draco's father, uses his political influence to demand that Buckbeak be executed. As the school year progresses, Harry learns more about his parents' history and their connection to Sirius Black. Professor Lupin reveals that he was friends with Harry's father, James Potter, during their time at Hogwarts. Harry also discovers that his father, along with Sirius Black, Remus Lupin, and Peter Pettigrew, formed a tight-knit group of friends known as the Marauders. They even created the Marauders Map, a magical document that shows every person's location within Hogwarts in real time. The mystery deepens when Harry learns that Sirius Black was his father's best friend and Harry's godfather. According to official records, Black betrayed Harry's parents to Voldemort by revealing their location, leading to their murders. After Voldemort's downfall, Black allegedly killed Peter Pettigrew and 12 Muggle bystanders with a single curse, laughing maniacally at the scene. Pettigrew was supposedly blown apart, with only a finger remaining. During a Hogsmeade weekend visit, Harry uses the Marauder's map and his invisibility cloak to sneak into the village despite lacking permission. He overhears a conversation between Professor McGonagall, Cornelius Fudge, Hagrid, and others in the Three Broomsticks pub, revealing that Sirius Black was not only James Potter's best friend but also the one believed to have betrayed the Potters to Voldemort and subsequently murdered Pettigrew. The climax approaches when Ron's rat Scabbers leads Ron, Harry, and Hermione to the Shrieking Shack, a supposedly haunted building in Hogsmeade. There, they encounter Sirius Black, who has finally infiltrated Hogwarts. Professor Lupin arrives and appears to side with Black, shocking the students. However, the truth begins to unravel. Scabbers is actually Peter Pettigrew, an animagus who has been hiding in rat form for 12 years. Black and Lupin explain that Pettigrew was the real traitor who betrayed the Potters to Voldemort. After Voldemort's attack, Pettigrew faked his own death by cutting off his finger, killing the 12 Muggles, and transforming into a rat. Black, who had been the Potter's secret keeper decoy while Pettigrew held the real secret, was wrongfully imprisoned without trial. He spent 12 years in Azkaban before escaping to protect Harry from Pettigrew, who had returned to Hogwarts. Severus Snape, who has harbored a grudge against Sirius and Lupin since their school days, arrives and attempts to capture Black. However, Harry disarms Snape, and the group forces Pettigrew to transform back into his human form, confirming Black's story. They decide to take Pettigrew to the castle to clear Sirius's name. As they journey back to Hogwarts, the full moon rises, and Lupin, who is a werewolf, transforms without having taken his wolfsbane potion. In the chaos, Pettigrew escapes. Sirius transforms into his animagus form, a large black dog, to protect the students from the werewolf. During the struggle, Harry and Sirius encounter Dementors near the lake. As Harry attempts to produce a Patronus, he sees a mysterious figure across the lake cast a powerful stag Patronus that drives away the Dementors. Harry initially believes this figure to be his father but loses consciousness. Harry awakens in the hospital wing, where he learns that Sirius has been captured and is scheduled to receive the Dementor's kiss, a fate worse than death where his soul will be extracted. Dumbledore subtly suggests that Harry and Hermione can save more than one innocent life if they turn back time. Hermione reveals her secret. She has been using a time turner, a device that allows time travel, to attend multiple classes simultaneously. Harry and Hermione travel 3 hours back in time and carefully navigate past events to avoid being seen by their past selves. They rescue Buckbeak from execution and position themselves by the lake at the crucial moment. Harry realizes that he himself was the figure who cast the powerful Patronus, not his father. Drawing on this knowledge and the memory of his parents' love, Harry successfully produces a corporeal Patronus in the form of a stag, his father's animagus form, which drives away the Dementors. With Buckbeak's help, Harry and Hermione rescue Sirius from his tower prison moments before the Dementors can perform the kiss. Sirius escapes on Buckbeak, flying to freedom. Harry and Hermione return to the hospital wing just as their past selves time traveled, ensuring the timeline remains intact. The film concludes with bittersweet emotions. Though Sirius remains a fugitive, Harry knows his godfather is innocent and free. Sirius sends Harry a firebolt broomstick as a gift and writes that he hopes to see Harry again someday. Professor Lupin resigns from his position, as his werewolf identity has been exposed. As the school year ends, Harry looks toward the future with renewed hope, having gained a connection to his parents' past and the knowledge that he has family who cares for him. Cast and CHARECTRS. The cast of Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban features returning actors alongside notable new additions who brought depth to the expanding wizarding world. Daniel Radcliffe returns as Harry Potter, the young wizard who must confront both external threats and his own traumatic past. Radcliffe's performance in this film showcases Harry's growing maturity and emotional complexity as he deals with the revelations about his parents' history. Rupert Grint reprises his role as Ron Weasley, Harry's loyal best friend whose pet rat becomes central to the film's mystery. Grint brings both comedic timing and genuine concern for his characters' friendships. Emma Watson returns as Hermione Granger, the brilliant and resourceful witch who manages an impossible class schedule with her time-turner. Watson's portrayal shows Hermione's increasing confidence and her willingness to break rules when necessary. Gary Oldman joins the cast as Sirius Black, Harry's godfather, and the film's central mystery. Oldman delivers a powerful performance, transitioning from appearing as a dangerous fugitive to revealing himself as a caring, wrongfully accused man devoted to protecting Harry. David Thewlis appears as Professor Remus Lupin, the warmest and most competent defense against the dark arts teacher Hogwarts has seen in years. Thewlis brings warmth and melancholy to the character, a man burdened by his werewolf condition but committed to his students. Timothy Spall portrays Peter Pettigrew, also known as Wormtail, the true traitor whose cowardice led to the Potters' deaths. Spall's nervous, pathetic performance effectively conveys the character's weakness and desperation. Michael Gambon takes over the role of Albus Dumbledore following Richard Harris's passing. Gambon brings a more energetic interpretation to the beloved headmaster while maintaining the character's wisdom and mysterious nature. Alan Rickman continues as Severus Snape, the potions master whose complicated history with the Marauders adds layers to his antagonistic behavior toward Harry and his friends. Robbie Coltrane returns as Rubeus Hagrid, now serving as both gamekeeper and care of magical creatures professor. His storyline with Buckbeak provides emotional weight to the narrative. Maggie Smith reprises her role as Professor Minerva McGonagall, the stern but fair Transfiguration professor and head of Gryffindor House. Tom Felton continues as Draco Malfoy, Harry's school rival whose actions against Buckbeak demonstrate his family's vindictive nature. Emma Thompson appears as Professor Sybil Trelawney, the eccentric divination teacher whose dramatic predictions are treated with skepticism by most. Characters. Julie Christie has a brief appearance as Madame Rosmerta, the proprietor of the Three Broomsticks pub in Hogsmeade. Pam Ferris portrays Marge Disley, Vernon's unpleasant sister whose insults trigger Harry's accidental magic at the film's opening. Richard Griffiths and Fiona Shaw return as Vernon and Petunia Disley, Harry's disagreeable aunt and uncle. The film also features returning cast members including Matthew Lewis as Neville Longbottom, Bonnie Wright as Ginny Weasley, James and Oliver Phelps as Fred and George Weasley, Julie Walters as Molly Weasley, Mark Williams as Arthur Weasley, and Devon Murray as Seamus Finnegan. Release date and distribution. Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban premiered in New York City on May 23, 2004, generating significant excitement among fans and critics. The film received its United Kingdom release on May 31, 2004, followed by its North American theatrical release on June 4, 2004. This release strategy allowed the film to build momentum through international word of mouth before reaching the crucial American market. The worldwide release continued throughout June 2004, with the film opening in various territories across Europe, Asia, Australia, and South America. Warner Bros. Pictures coordinated a massive global distribution effort to ensure the film reached audiences in numerous languages and formats. The theatrical run proved remarkably successful, with the film remaining in theaters for several months due to sustained audience interest. The film's box office performance exceeded expectations, grossing over $796 million worldwide, making it one of the highest-grossing films of 2004. Following its theatrical run, the film was released on DVD and VHS on November 23, 2004, in North America, timed strategically for the holiday shopping season. The home video release included various special features, behind-the-scenes documentaries, deleted scenes, and interviews with the cast and crew. A special edition DVD with additional content was released subsequently, catering to collectors and devoted fans. The film later received releases on Blu-ray, digital platforms, and eventually streaming services, ensuring its availability to new generations of viewers. Warner Bros. Has periodically re-released the film in theaters for special events and anniversaries, allowing fans to experience the film on the big screen years after its initial release. Trailer and marketing. The marketing campaign for Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban began months before the film's release, building anticipation through a carefully orchestrated series of trailers, posters, and promotional materials. Warner Bros. Recognized the evolving nature of the franchise and crafted a marketing approach that emphasized the darker, more mature tone of this installment. The first teaser trailer was released in late 2003, offering audiences their first glimpse of Alfonso Cuarón's distinctive visual style. This trailer focused on atmospheric shots of Hogwarts, the menacing presence of the Dementors, and brief action sequences, all set to ominous music that signaled a departure from the more whimsical tone of previous films. The teaser created significant buzz by emphasizing danger and mystery while revealing little about the plot. The full theatrical trailer followed in early 2004, providing more substantial footage while carefully avoiding major spoilers. This trailer showcased key moments including Harry's encounter with the Dementors on the train, Buckbeak's flight, Professor Lupin's classes, and Sirius Black's escape from Azkaban. The marketing team effectively used quick cuts and dramatic music to create tension and excitement, while voiceover narration emphasized the threat posed by Sirius Black. International versions of the trailers were created with localized narration and text, ensuring the marketing resonated with global audiences. Special behind-the-scenes featurettes aired on television and were distributed online, showing the cast and crew discussing the film's themes and Alfonso Cuarón's directorial approach. Poster campaigns featured striking imagery, including the iconic poster showing Harry confronting a Dementor, and another showing Sirius Black's Azkaban prisoner photograph with his wild expression. These posters were displayed in theaters, on billboards, and in print advertisements worldwide. Television spots aired extensively during primetime programming and major sporting events, targeting both the core young audience and their parents. Warner Bros. Also created exclusive preview content that aired on networks like ABC and HBO, offering extended looks at the film's creation. The internet played an increasingly important role in the marketing campaign, with the official Harry Potter website hosting exclusive content, games, and countdown features. Fan sites received early access to certain materials, helping to build grassroots enthusiasm. Promotional tie-ins included partnerships with major brands, video game releases for multiple platforms, soundtrack promotions, and merchandise ranging from action figures to replica props. These partnerships expanded the film's reach beyond traditional movie advertising. Critical reception and legacy. Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban received widespread critical acclaim upon release, with many reviewers praising it as the best film in the series up to that point. Critics particularly noted Alfonso Cuarón's artistic direction, which brought visual sophistication and emotional depth to the franchise. The film's darker tone, complex character development, and mature themes were seen as successful adaptations of J.K. Rowling's increasingly intricate storytelling. Film critics highlighted the cinematography by Michael Saracen, which utilized natural lighting and dynamic camera movements to create a more immersive and realistic magical world. The visual effects, particularly the time travel sequences and Dementor designs, received praise for their creativity and execution. The performances, especially Gary Oldman's portrayal of Sirius Black and David Thewlis's Professor Lupin, garnered critical appreciation for adding gravitas to the narrative. Daniel Radcliffe's growth as an actor was acknowledged, with reviewers noting his ability to convey Harry's emotional vulnerability alongside his courage. John Williams, who had scored the first two films, contributed themes that were then adapted by William Ross for this installment, creating a musical continuity while allowing for new compositional elements that matched the film's darker atmosphere. The film received numerous award nominations and wins, including Academy Award nominations for Best Visual Effects and Best Original Music Score. It won several Saturn Awards, including Best Fantasy Film, and received BAFTA nominations for its production design and visual effects. The film's influence on the franchise was substantial. Quarren's stylistic choices, including the decision to have students wear contemporary clothing alongside their robes and the emphasis on character-driven storytelling over plot exposition, influenced subsequent directors. The film demonstrated that the Harry Potter series could evolve tonally and aesthetically while maintaining its core appeal. Financially, the film's success validated Warner Bros.' decision to take creative risks with the franchise. Despite being the lowest-grossing Harry Potter film domestically at the time, its worldwide total of over $796 million proved the franchise's enduring global appeal. Years after its release, the film is frequently cited by fans and critics as a high point in the series. Its reputation has grown over time, with retrospective analyses praising its artistic ambition and emotional resonance. The film is credited with elevating the franchise from children's entertainment to sophisticated cinema that appeals across age groups. CONCLUSION Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban stands as a transformative entry in the Harry Potter film series, successfully transitioning the franchise toward more mature storytelling while maintaining the magical wonder that captivated audiences worldwide. Through Alfonso Cuarón's visionary direction, outstanding performances from both returning and new cast members, and a compelling adaptation of J.K. Rowling's beloved novel, the film delivered an experience that resonated with viewers and critics alike. The film's exploration of themes including betrayal, friendship, the importance of truth, and the complexity of human nature elevated it beyond typical fantasy fare. Its technical achievements in cinematography, visual effects, and production design set new standards for the franchise and influenced the direction of subsequent installments. For fans of the Harry Potter universe, this film represents a crucial chapter in Harry's journey, introducing characters and concepts that would prove essential to the series' conclusion. The emotional depth achieved through the revelation of Harry's connection to Sirius Black and the Marauders provided character development that enriched the entire narrative arc. The film's enduring popularity, evidenced by continued viewership through home video, streaming platforms, and special theatrical re-releases, demonstrates its lasting impact on popular culture. It remains a testament to what can be achieved when filmmakers are willing to take creative risks with established franchises, trusting their audience to embrace evolution and complexity. By the time Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban begins, the wizarding world is no longer a place of simple wonder. Childhood innocence starts to fade, and darker truths rise to the surface. This third chapter marks a dramatic tonal shift in the Harry Potter saga, moving from magical adventure into psychological mystery, fear, and moral complexity. At the heart of this story lies a single question: who can truly be trusted? Chapter 1. A troubled summer and a dangerous escape. Harry Potter spends another miserable summer with the Dursleys, struggling not only with their cruelty, but with the emotional weight of growing older and angrier. His temper flares when Aunt Marge insults his parents, triggering uncontrolled magic and forcing Harry to flee into the night. At the same time, the wizarding world is on edge. Sirius Black, a notorious supporter of Lord Voldemort, has escaped from Azkaban prison, a fortress believed to be impossible to break out of. The Ministry of Magic announces that Sirius is hunting Harry Potter. This revelation changes everything. For the first time, Harry is not just famous, he is targeted. Chapter 2. Dementors and the Fear of the Pastas. Harry returns to Hogwarts. New and terrifying guards are stationed at the school. Dementors, soul-draining creatures that feed on fear, despair, and happy memories. Their presence introduces a new kind of horror, one that attacks the mind rather than the body. Whenever Dementors approach, Harry collapses, haunted by echoes of his parents' final moments. This vulnerability sets him apart from his peers and reveals an emotional wound deeper than magic can easily heal. Enter Professor Remus Lupin, the new defense against the dark arts teacher. Calm, kind, and unusually understanding of Harry's struggles, Lupin teaches him the Patronus charm, a spell fueled by hope and positive memory, symbolizing Harry's fight against trauma and fear. Chapter 3: Secrets, Shadows, and the Marauder's Map. Harry, Ron, and Hermione discover the Marauder's Map, a magical artifact that reveals every corner of Hogwarts and the movements of everyone inside it. The map introduces the names of 4 mysterious creators: Moony, Wormtail, Padfoot, and Prongs, figures whose true identities will later reshape the entire story. As the school year progresses, tension builds. Sirius Black is repeatedly sighted near Hogwarts. Everyone believes he betrayed Harry's parents to Voldemort, causing their deaths. Even Harry himself begins to feel a growing desire for revenge. But strange inconsistencies begin to appear, particularly when the map reveals the name Peter Pettigrew, a man officially declared dead years ago. Chapter 4: The Truth Beneath the Shrieking Shack. The mystery reaches its climax in the Shrieking Shack, where past and present collide. Harry finally confronts Sirius Black, only to discover the truth has been twisted for over a decade. Sirius is not the villain. He was framed. The real traitor is Peter Pettigrew, a cowardly wizard who faked his own death and lived for years disguised as Ron's pet rat. This revelation reframes the entire story. The supposed monster is a broken man who loved Harry's parents like family. The trusted friend is the true betrayer. It is here that Harry faces a defining moral choice: revenge or mercy. He chooses justice over hatred, proving he is not becoming what Voldemort represents. Chapter 5: Loss, Transformation, and the Cruelty of Fate. Just as hope seems possible, tragedy strikes again. Pettigrew escapes, Sirius is captured, and Lupin is exposed as a werewolf, forced to resign despite his goodness and bravery. The wizarding world proves itself flawed, quick to judge, slow to understand. But one final chance remains. Chapter 6: Time, Choice, and Redemption. With the help of Hermione's secret time turner, Harry and Hermione travel back in time. This sequence reveals a powerful theme of the film: we are often saved by ourselves. Harry realizes that the powerful Patronus he saw earlier was not cast by his father, but by himself. In accepting who he is, Harry steps out of his parents' shadow and into his own strength. Together, they rescue Sirius, who escapes into hiding, not free, but alive, and finally known to Harry as the godfather who truly cares for him. Conclusion: growing up in an unjust world, The Prisoner of Azkaban ends without a neat victory. The villain escapes. The hero gains no public reward. Yet Harry emerges stronger, not because he defeated an enemy, but because he faced the truth. This film is about fear and trauma, the danger of false narratives, the power of choice, the loss of innocence. It is the moment the Harry Potter series truly grows up.